Have you ever wished you could be unshakable? Someone who doesn't crumble at criticism, rejection, or betrayal? Maybe you're exhausted from pretending to be fine while pain eats you alive inside. Tired of trying to please everyone while maintaining that perfect image. Here's what nobody has the courage to tell you. As long as you avoid pain, it controls you. As long as you try to numb yourself, you remain a hostage to everything around you. But what if I told you there's another way? You think what hurts you comes from out there, the harsh words, the abandonments, the betrayals you never saw coming. But here's the brutal truth. None of this has real power over you unless there's already an open wound inside. What destroys you isn't what others do. It's what these experiences activate within you. The old trauma never addressed, the emptiness you disguise with strength. Carl Jung, one of psychology's greatest minds, showed us something profound. The pain we feel from the external world is just a reflection of what hasn't been integrated in our internal world. That's why some people survive devastating situations while others crumble at a simple comment. It's not about what happens. It's about where it hits you. Here's an uncomfortable truth. You still suffer because you believe you can control how the world treats you. You're still trying to be good enough, smart enough, strong enough, as if that guarantees nobody will hurt you. But control is an illusion, and clinging to it keeps you in constant tension, trying to predict the unpredictable. Want to stop suffering? Stop protecting yourself from suffering. What you need isn't more control, it's more awareness. Your freedom begins when you understand that everything from outside only has power if it finds an echo within you. The biggest lie you've been told is that you're in control of your life. Wake up. You're not. At least not while you live on autopilot, reacting without knowing why. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That pain you feel, the anger exploding from nowhere, the sadness without explanation, none of it's random. These are messages from forgotten parts of yourself. Your unconscious isn't just vague thoughts. It's an active force of memories, trauma, and fears you refuse to face. Yet they still decide what you feel and how you act. Those words that destroy you while others don't care, they touch sensitive points within you that are still alive, still unhealed. Most people think avoiding hurt means closing off, building walls, creating masks, pretending nothing affects them. They say I don't care while bleeding inside, because the problem was never about feeling. It's about not knowing what you're feeling and why. True emotional strength isn't about being cold. It's about integrating, accepting, bringing to light everything buried in darkness. You don't become untouchable by creating barriers. You become untouchable when you realize nobody can touch what's already been embraced within you. When you integrate your shadows, fears, and insecurities, you stop reacting to everything. You observe, you choose. You're no longer an emotional puppet. Jung called this individuation, becoming who you really are, not what others expect. Not what you thought you should be, but what emerges from within. You learned to hate pain early. You were taught suffering equals weakness. That feeling too much makes you vulnerable. So you began to run, to avoid, to deny. But ignored pain doesn't disappear. It digs tunnels inside you until everything collapses without warning. Jung saw suffering differently. He believed pain was the soul's messenger, the unconscious mind's alarm system. He said depression is like a lady in black. If she appears, don't push her away. Invite her to sit down and listen to what she has to say. But you don't listen. You silence, distract, numb yourself. The truth is, suffering hurts so much because you're at war with yourself. Part of you wants to grow. Another part wants everything to stay the same. Change hurts. Growth hurts. Letting go of old beliefs hurts. It's a mourning process of internal death and rebirth. But in this space of ruin, something new can be born. When everything crumbles, when pain strips away your defenses, you finally see who you really are. At that exact point, suffering becomes sacred. It brings you to your knees before the only thing that can set you free, yourself. Few have the courage to begin individuation. Even fewer complete it. This path doesn't promise comfort. It destroys your ego to reveal your true self. You realize much of what defined you was an illusion. You're not your achievements, traumas, or the image you built for acceptance. Individuation requires dissolving your persona, the mask you wear for social convenience. You must tear off your own skin to discover what lies beneath. In this process, you become truly untouchable, not because nothing affects you, but because you've walked through fire. You've faced your monsters and said, "I see you, but you no longer control me." This internal clarity gives you strength that doesn't depend on approval or control. You no longer need everyone's love. You don't need to win every argument or appear strong. You know who you are, and nobody can take that away. True emotional armor isn't a shell. It's a core. The integration of all your parts into unshakable consciousness. You may feel pain, but it doesn't break you. You may hurt, but you don't lose yourself. This depth comes at a price: loneliness. Not because you'll be alone, but because few can accompany this journey. Most remain trapped in masks and fear of feeling. When you free yourself, you inevitably distance from where you once hid. This isn't rejection, it's maturation. You no longer fit where you used to hide. Nothing will protect you from external suffering if you remain unconscious of your internal world. Awakening isn't magical. It's a daily choice to look within even when it hurts, taking responsibility for everything you feel without blaming others. Jung said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms." You've spent your life resisting fear of inadequacy, emptiness, rejection, loneliness. You hid, tried to control, tried to be perfect. True emotional immunity isn't hardness, it's clarity. Not creating armor, but expanding awareness. When you understand your triggers, patterns, and wounds, others' actions lose power to destroy you. You still feel, but don't drown. You still suffer, but don't lose yourself. What shields you isn't protecting yourself from life. It's diving into it deeply. Those on the surface get hurt by any wave. Those who dive find silence, stability, and power below. If this video awakens something within you, write in the comments, "I choose awareness." Let's start a movement of people who no longer want to survive by pretending to be strong, but to live with truth. The next video continues this journey. Real transformation only begins when you don't stop at the first step. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated with you, subscribe for more content on psychological growth, and hit that notification bell. Your journey to becoming emotionally untouchable starts now. See you in the next video.